Constantinople. For over 1,000 years, this city did not fall. Its survival was recorded in chronicles traced through archaeology and preserved in paintings and fragments of stone. But in 1453, history changed. In the next 10 minutes, those records come back to life. Using historical sources, visual reconstructions, and an artificial intelligence trained on the past, we will witness the final hours of Constantinople, not as legend, not as myth, but as history. Rebuilt. Constantinople was not merely a city on a map. It was the last living remnant of the Roman Empire. A place where ancient power, law, and memory still survived. When it finally fell, Rome did not fall symbolically. It fell completely. And this time, there would be no return. By the mid-15th century, Constantinople stood alone in the world. Once the capital of an empire that stretched across 3 continents, it had been reduced to a fortified island of history, surrounded by enemies and memory. Its population had declined sharply. Entire districts lay abandoned. Within the mighty walls, farmland replaced neighborhoods where citizens once lived. Yet the city's defenses remained legendary. The Theodosian walls had protected Constantinople for centuries. No army had ever breached them from the west. To many in Europe, the city still felt eternal, weakened perhaps, but unbreakable. They believed Constantinople would endure not because it was strong, but because it always had. They believed history would repeat itself. They were wrong. Across the Bosphorus, a new power was rising. The Ottoman Empire had expanded rapidly, absorbing territory, cities, and influence. By the mid-15th century, it surrounded Constantinople on nearly every side. At its head stood Mehmed II. He was only 19 years old. But his ambition was anything but young. To Mehmed, Constantinople was not a symbol of the past. It was a problem in the present. The city controlled key trade routes between Europe and Asia. As long as it stood, Ottoman dominance remained incomplete. Previous rulers had tried to take the city and failed. They relied on numbers, tradition, and persistence. Mehmed chose a different approach. He invested in technology, he gathered engineers and metal workers, he commissioned massive cannons, unlike anything seen before in warfare. These weapons were not designed to intimidate, they were designed to break what had never been broken. For centuries, the Theodosian walls had stopped every army that approached them. Stone, height, and layered defenses had made the city untouchable. Mehmed understood a simple truth. Walls were only eternal, until the world learned how to destroy them. And in 1453, that moment had arrived. In April of 1453, the siege of Constantinople began. Ottoman forces surrounded the city by land and sea. Their numbers were overwhelming. But numbers alone had never been enough to take Constantinople. This time was different. Mehmed's cannons opened fire day and night. Stone walls that had withstood centuries of arrows, ladders, and siege towers were now struck by repeated blasts of iron and fire. Each impact sent shockwaves through the city. Cracks appeared where none had existed before. Repairs were made overnight, only to be undone again by morning. Inside the walls, defenders were few. The Byzantine army had been reduced to a fraction of its former strength. Supplies were limited. Food was rationed. Reinforcements from the west never arrived. The city was no longer the heart of an empire. It was a fortress holding on to memory, Yet Constantinople resisted. Defenders held their positions. Civilians assisted with repairs. Hope survived not because victory seemed possible, but because surrender meant the end of everything they knew. For weeks, the siege continued without pause. The city was attacked not only by soldiers, but by a new kind of war. Gunpowder had changed the rules. For the first time that the future was battering down the walls of the past, and slowly the walls began to give way. As May drew to an end, the city understood what was coming. The walls were damaged beyond repair. Defenders were exhausted. Every night blurred into the next, marked only by explosions, alarms, and prayer. Before dawn on May 29th, the final assault began. Wave after wave of Ottoman troops advanced toward the weakened sections of the wall. The first attacks were repelled, the second pushed deeper. Each defense cost more lives than the last. Inside the city there was no reserve left. No hidden force waiting to intervene. Every man who could fight was already fighting. When a breach finally opened, it did not look dramatic. There was no single moment of collapse, just a sudden realization that the line could no longer hold. Emperor Constantine XI was last seen near the walls, fighting alongside his soldiers. He did not retreat. He did not escape. By sunrise, Constantinople had fallen. The city that had resisted for over 1,000 years was taken in a single night. Its churches were entered, its streets filled with chaos, its people scattered or captured. But more than buildings were lost. In those hours, an idea ended. The belief that Constantinople was protected by history itself was proven false. Stone had failed, tradition had failed, and the city that had delayed the end of Rome could delay it no longer. The fall of Constantinople reshaped the world far beyond its walls. With the city gone, the Roman Empire ended completely. Not symbolically, not gradually, but permanently. Trade routes between East and West were disrupted. European merchants were forced to search for alternatives. That search would eventually push ships farther into the Atlantic and help ignite the age of exploration. Scholars, artists, and texts fled westward. Ancient Greek and Roman knowledge preserved for centuries in Constantinople began circulating through Europe. The Renaissance accelerated. At the same time, the Ottoman Empire emerged as a dominant power. Its control of Constantinople transformed it into a global capital, bridging Europe, Asia, and the Islamic world. What had once been a defensive city became a center of expansion. The medieval world did not end in a single moment, but its foundations shifted, a new balance of power formed, old certainties vanished, and history moved forward, guided by forces that no wall could stop. For centuries, Rome shaped the ancient world. And when Rome declined, Constantinople carried its legacy forward. It preserved Roman law, culture, and memory long after the West had fractured and faded. For 1,000 years, the city delayed the end of an empire. That should have vanished much earlier. But no civilization can survive on memory alone. In 410 AD, Rome lost its relevance. In 1453, Constantinople lost its walls. Together, these moments marked the true end of the Roman world. What followed was not darkness, but transformation. Power shifted. Trade routes changed. New empires rose on the ruins of old certainty. The ancient world did not collapse overnight. It was replaced piece by something faster, louder, and more unstable. Rome adapted, Constantinople endured. And when it finally fell, history moved on without hesitation. Cities can delay change, they can resist it, but they cannot stop it. In the end, even the longest-lasting empires are only chapters. When those chapters close, the world turns the page,